I'm Scott with Work Happier, where we're building better workplaces and happier workforces through the experiences of people. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.
Hey, so this is the fourth video in my How to Really Build a Resume series, where I'm exploring exactly how and why I build resumes the way that I do, and how you can do that too. So to quickly recap, the first video is what is the purpose of a resume? It's an argument for why someone should want to talk to you, right? And then the second video was about your headline or your title, telling me how you want to view this. It orients the reader. And then my third video was about the summary, which is kind of the opening statement. It explains who you are, what you do, how you do it, and what you're looking for. It acts as a way to position you as the reader moves into what comes next, which is the experience section. And so most of the resumes I see use this experience section to list jobs and tasks almost as a timeline of existence, right? Most recent job first, and then I worked here, and then here, and then here, and then I did this, and I did this, and I did this. And we default to this format, which is fine. It makes perfect sense because it's what people expect to see, and it's what ATS systems expect to see. But that's not its purpose. Its purpose is not to prove you exist as a timeline. No, the experience section is evidence of what differentiates you. Two people can have the exact same title. You can work at the same company for the same number of years with the same education. So what makes them different? Why should somebody believe what you said in your summary? Why should they believe your headline and title? This is where you get to answer that question. It's what makes you who you are. It's what makes your resume stand out, because nobody else has experienced your work the way that you have. So as you build your experience section of your resume, everything should connect back to the claim that you're making, to what differentiates you. So now as we get into the experience section, every job has a purpose, right? To further those claims and support the argument. And every bullet underneath those jobs has a purpose, to present new evidence proving your position, differentiating you. It's there to move the reader forward. And I guess that means that not every job deserves equal weight. Not every piece of experience gets equal coverage. That's just not how it works. Certain jobs and certain stories, they're what carry the resume. Because there are some experiences and opportunities and jobs and things like that that speak more to whatever your positioning is now. There are experiences that are harder to connect. That some stuff is there just to bridge a gap or to prove a certain point, and some stuff is just omitted. We just don't. What's the point? We don't need to put it on there because you're building a case, right? I look at these as court cases a lot, and this is I said it earlier. You get to present the evidence however you want. It's your chance to tell someone exactly why you are valuable. So let's look at how to do that by quickly. I'll explore 4 common mistakes I see in a very specific order. One kind of leads to the next, First, repetition of both words and concepts. I look at it and I see 5 bullets: managed, led, supervised, trained, coached. Okay, I get it. I understand. But now tell me something else, because you've just spent really valuable real estate in your resume telling me the exact same thing over and over again, and it's the exact same thing that everybody else is telling me. So when I write a resume, every job starts with 4 bullets. If I want to add extra weight, I will add 1. If I want to take it away, I'll take away 1 or 2 to reduce the impact. But I don't do any of that until the section is completed. How does it all work together? How does each piece support the argument? And here's the way that I structure my bullets really quickly. Make an impact is my first bullet. It needs to make the reader say oh, Wow, okay, it's usually a big number or a bold statement, something like that. Next, show how I think or how I operate. How did I generate that big number, or how do I back up that bold claim? My third bullet, how do I impact my team, the people around me, my environment? Something specific to how you impact the people around you. The fourth bullet is problem solving, whether it's identifying, here's a problem that I solved, or here's how I kind of solve problems, something surrounding problem solving. And then if there's a fifth bullet, that's a wild card, because I'm not jamming something in there just to put something in there. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's an impactful piece, I'm just taking the biggest, the best thing left. And we could even take this a step further and say sometimes jobs have a purpose. Sometimes it's one job every bullet is used to highlight results, right? And maybe there's another job that's used to highlight kind of fundamentals of doing the work. That's how you avoid repetition in your resume. Okay, so now you've assigned jobs to your bullets, to your evidence, and now you've got to write them, right? And so I see this often as well, the incomplete bullet. For example, I see it in tech-related stuff all the time. Built low-latency algorithm using Python to make trading and communication platforms more efficient. Okay, like I can build stuff too. I could build a house. Would it stand up? So in your situation, what did it do? Did it work? Because you say the algorithm exists to make things more efficient, and if it didn't work, why are you talking about it? And if it did work, tell me about it. Here's how here. Built an algorithm that increased revenue 15% by bridging communication and trading platforms. That's a complete bullet. What did you do? What happened? How did you do it? You built an algorithm, it increased revenue by 15%, and it did it by bridging communication and trading platforms. You don't need Python or vagueness or jargon muddying that up. You saw a problem, you solved it, the results exist. So yeah, don't stop halfway through the story, present complete evidence. Okay, and so now you've got a purpose behind the bullet and you've written the bullet trying to make it complete, but I see this too, you've buried the lead because you stacked the bullet you've made it overly complete now. This is stuff like 3-line bullets with lists of things in them. And this happens when you do a few different things. When you're writing for keywords instead of readability and purpose, right? Write for readability. When you try to stuff your whole career, I see people do this, you try to stuff your whole career into a single page or 2 pages, or you try to expand your vocabulary when you don't need to, right? And those are 3 things, they make it really difficult to figure out what you're actually trying to say, because people don't talk like this. Practice cross-functional leadership in inventory, sales, marketing, and product development with an increase of 30% customer retention by fostering client relationships and focusing on accountability. The most important thing hidden in there, in between a bunch of jargon, and then you've given me 6 different things to look at, the value is the 30% increase in customer retention, because that impacts revenue, referrals. It increases ROI on acquisition. This is a real business result that starts certain dominoes from falling, and you've buried it. Don't make me dig for the outcome. Don't distract the reader. If the result is impressive, highlight it and just let it breathe. Worked across departments to bring operations in line with client expectations, resulting in a 30% increase in customer retention. That's a bullet. Let it stand on its own. Speaking of standing on their own, there are people with millions of views who tell you to just lie in your resume, and that's how you get a job. First, there's a difference between changing how your experience is positioned, how it's used, versus fabrication. Fabrication is making shit up, identifying where your stories and experience connect to new directions, roles. That's the work. That's what I get paid for. So don't lie, not just because it's not ethical, but because eventually somebody asks, and because usually we can tell when someone who did the work wrote it. And once that lie is exposed, your entire argument falls apart. It doesn't matter what happens after that. So when you're looking at a change or shifting how an experience is viewed, revisit, reflect, and reposition. That's not a lie. That's a strategy. And that's really the point, right? Because most people use the experience section to tell, where they've worked. I'm looking for what you did while you were there. How did you happen to the business? How do you think? How do you solve problems? How do you create value? How do you impact the people and environments around you? Because that's what differentiates you. Not the title, not the company, not the years. The experiences and how you use them. That's why this is the largest section on the resume. It's where the argument stops being a claim and starts becoming believable. The headline tells me how to view you. The summary tells me who you are. The experience section shows me why I should believe it. And if those three things align, the resume works. Thanks again for watching and for your support. If you want to work with me, have questions, comments, my info is in the description, or check out my website, workhappier.ca. Like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget, it's all about the people.